I'll tell you one rule: the dead is not. If it's a family member, they're not allowed to communicate unless you ask them to. Unless you say it's okay. They're not allowed to visit you unless you say it's okay. Okay. If you have a dead relative and you want to communicate with him, um, they have to ask permission from the living to do it. From a person like me to, and for say, can can I visit them? You cannot visit the living unless you have permission to visit the living. It's the difference between haunting and a visitation. That's where there's a fine line differentiates the two, okay? Because a visitation would mean a loved one could come and visit you and see how you're living and see how you're doing, communicate with you, but you cannot visit that living unless you give them permission to do that. The same thing about boundaries in your home. You have to have boundaries in your home. You cannot have the dead come and visit you unless you give them permission to do that. That's the rules of the living and the dead.